Hi, welcome to my video. So in this video, my name is Win. I'm a transformational coach and I'm an INTJ. I'm a 5 on the Enneagram, 5 SP. So in this video, I want to share a model for INTJs to develop and grow and fully realize their potential. So, so what I'll do is I'll share my screen so that you can see the model that I have. So in this model, so basically this is the what I call the six phase transformational model for INTJs to grow and develop. So this is roughly based on Graves levels, if you're familiar with the spiral dynamics. But I'm using these 6 levels so that to be effectively, I think, tangible in terms of our growth journey. So this is roughly that you can use it to gauge your own self-development and where you're at and what you need to be working on. So I'll be using cognitive functions of an INTJ, so cognitive function stack, so NITE, FISE, in terms of like what to work on at different levels. Depending on where you're at, you can focus on different cognitive functions. And I'll be also using another model that I have, which is what I call the transformational metrics. So it's this one, right? If you want the video that I cover the whole model in the 9, I think, different areas that you need to work on, go to the link in the description, and you should be able to download or watch the video and download the PDF that came with the video. So that you have a reference for yourself in terms of what you need to be working on and be able to say yes to. There are 9 things you need to be able to say yes to know that you are growing and developing and fully living your potential as an INTJ. So I'll be using that model. So I'm not going to cover the model in this video, but you can watch that as a video separately. Just go to the description and download to go watch the video. So the model is roughly based on Graves levels, but I've come up with, I think, my own terms in terms of I think how I view it as a journey of leadership, as a journey of self-development, as a journey of, I think, self-actualization, and to be fully living your potential in terms of lifestyle, the contribution you can make, the creativity you can have, the just fully realizing your, I think, mental cognitive abilities, so that you, I guess I'll say, just be on purpose and on fire every day, right? So if you look at the model here, so I have 6 levels, right? So these are on the right, you'll see different colors, like green, red, and orange. These are just my own I guess connotations to remind myself, so it's easier to identify, because I have, if you go watch the video, you'll see the inspirational stack. So if you see on the right here, oops, what I'll do is I'll use different ink. So if you see on the right here, this is what I'm referring to, on the purple rectangle. So the top stack is called inspiration stack, which is your value. You need to work in your value, be clear on your value, your vision, your value, and your vehicle, which is your vocation, which is the vehicle that you use to realize your value, express your value, and realize your vision. And then you have the second stack, right? So this is 1, 2, 3. Number 2 is inspiration implementation stack, which is your goals, primary goals, what I call primary goals, and then your productivity in the middle, and then you have your personality. Personality in terms of knowing what your type is in terms of Myers-Briggs, knowing what cognitive functions you use, knowing what your preferred functions are, knowing what your what your strengths are, weaknesses are, how you drain, how you recharge, how you energize, so that you can be productive according to your own functional stack and your own personality type, basically. So you have oops, So you have the 3 V's, right? Vision, value, vehicle, and then your personality, productivity, and then your primary goals. And then in the bottom stack, you have what I call the integration stack, which is all by your unconscious past woundings, and then digging, clearing all your old traumas so that you can realize your purpose. So your purpose comes from your pain points. So your pain points, and then realizing, noticing, becoming aware of your own self-sabotaging I say patterns, different patterns. Sorry about that. So different patterns that you use as a defensive mechanism, becoming aware of them and working through them and clearing them, integrating them, so that you can come up with your purpose, which is what I also call this is the bottom stack, is a purpose stack, or what I call integration stack, as well as the life meaning, right? So the bottom stack gives you life meaning, the top stack, inspiration stack, gives you life fulfillment, and then getting clear on and realizing and working through your implementation stack gives you life contribution, because it's about productivity and your value creation as a human being or as an INTJ, right? So the first 3, say most INTJs struggle, who haven't done a lot of healing, or who haven't done any healing, will generally tend to get stuck at level 1 and 2. So this is the bottom level. So what I'll do is color these 2. So level 1 and 2 generally. So I'm not going to go through the grades model, but just roughly, the level 1 is survival, where you're struggling. It's all about physical safety. Putting food on the table. Anything to do with physical safety, physical comfort. So if you're struggling there, then that's what you need to be focusing on working on. And the second level is about tribal level, which is where you need approval and addiction. So this is the dysfunctional way of manifesting, I guess, the need for belonging, the need to belong to a tribe, which is why I also created a INTJ group, which is called Insights to Impact. So turning your insights to become impactful, so that you can be productive and use your insight to help and to contribute to the other human beings and the world and in general. So how unhealthy INTJs, in terms of, there's no judgment here, okay? This is whatever level that you're at, that's where you're at, and that's what you need to be focusing on and working on, and there's no shame in that. And so if you're looking for support in terms of and more information, then definitely join the Facebook group. The link should be in the description. I'm very active there. I'll be very active there, and I'll be doing live videos, answering questions weekly, basically just creating getting more information for you, so that you'll be able to help yourself, and we can all work together, basically. So approval and addiction is the second level. That's how most INTJs have a lot of FI woundings, what I call woundings around their feeling process, or the 10-year-old, if you are familiar with personality hackers car model, right? I'm a personality hacker trained, certified profiler. So I'll be using some of the terms, term that Antonio Dodge and Joe or Mark Witt created from personality hacker. So, which is a very useful model. So approval and addiction is level 2. That's where most people get stuck. So if you are stuck, or if you know someone who's stuck on this level, there'll be a lot of approval that they need in terms of their ideas, and they'll struggle with addiction. So those come from the backseat, or the 2 lower stack cognitive functions in the tertiary and the inferior. So if you don't know what the cognitive functions are, or if you don't know what you use in which position, there should be a video for you to check out in the links in the description below, or watch one of my previous videos or next videos, depending on, this is the first video that you're watching from my channel. So again, level 2 is about proven addiction. That's the way that most, I guess, unhealthy functions manifest for different INTJs. So if you need a lot of approval for your ideas, for you to be yourself, for you to be able to fully express and be authentic, then, and you struggle with vulnerability and shame, and I guess being who you really are and showing up as who you really are, then that's something you need to be working on, is working on your FI, healing your FI woundings. If you want more information on that, feel free to, comment below, and also connect with me in the Facebook group. And I'll have more information in my future videos for, how to do the healing work, what you need to know about healing work, what you need to be focusing on and things like that. So, so these are going to be the 2 cognitive functions. So basically the cognitive functions are, I need to delete, remove all these scratch marks. And so, all right, so the cognitive functions are for INTJs, NI. So, all right. So NI, which is introverted intuition, that's the dominant function, number 1, right? And number 2 is TE, which is tertiary, extroverted thinking, right? For personality hacker term, they call it effectiveness. And then introverted intuition is perspective, because it's all about shifting perspective, being able to shift different perspective and solve problem. That's what NI does. One of the things that NI does. TE, and then your tertiary function number 3 is FI, which is your introverted feeling, and then the 4th function, the inferior function, the baby function in the backseat, in the last position of the stack, in the 4-stack model is, or the 4-function model is extroverted sensing. So that's number 4. So you'll be using NI as a dominant function, that's an INTJ, TE as the secondary or the auxiliary function. So the way that I see the functional stack is, so depending on which model you study, and how you generally view the stack, this is how I view the stack. And according to Antonio Dodge from Personality Hacker, and oops, give me guys, I'm still getting used to this thing. Yeah, so this is the conscious axis, meaning you're more conscious of, this is the judging axis as well. The judging axis is the TEFI, right? So this is the judging functions, and INTJs are intuitive, perceiving dominance, meaning we lead with a learning function, which is the perceiving function of NI, introverted intuition, and SE, this is the unconscious or the dominant inferior axis or the perceiving axis, right? Because these are, NI, SE both are perceiving functions, and TE, FI both are judging functions, which is decision-making function. NISE is a learning function, so it's more about learning information, remembering, and TEFI is the judging. So I'm not going to go deeper into that. This is just as a reminder for people who are watching this and are new to the concept of cognitive functions. So for the second level, approval and addiction, right? This is where most people are going to be doing a lot of healing work. Most INTJs is going to be doing a lot of healing work. Even if you are successful in different areas of your life, it's like if you struggle with connection, if you struggle with like becoming vulnerable, sharing your feeling and being okay with like who you really are, then there's something you need to look at in terms of level 2, your FI and SE the way that you use those functions, right? Unhealthy way of doing those using SEFI is very indulgent, very SE showing up unhealthily. It's like called being in a grip is when you want to indulge in sensory pleasure. So it has to do with food, sex, pornography, alcohol, substances, drugs. So things of those nature, so that you can tune out and be present in your body sensorially. Then it's an unhealthy way of engaging that function or using your extroverted sensing function. So I think, I personally struggle with addiction, used to have different addictions. Healthy way of using the function is exercising, becoming present in your body and following regular regimented exercise programs so that you feel stronger, you're present every day in your body, and not having the need to indulge or tune out. So that would be combination of FI and SE both. I can go into more detail later in later videos. So, and then moving up, you start to work on authenticity, becoming more authentic and taking action. So this is where you need to be working on. This is where your FI gets stronger and you use your TE more. So basically TE is the logical function, the logistic, outer world measurement, keeping track of goals, and achieving measurable result in the real world with the ideas that your NI, your intuition, intuitive NI come up with, right? So when you can't implement or take action, it's generally because there's FI defenses of not being able to take feedback or criticism, or being afraid that you might fail, and what those quote-unquote failures will mean to your ego. So FI and T are very tied together. They are the two ends of a rubber band. Basically, if you pull one to one side, the other one's gonna stretch. And if your rubber band's not strong enough, basically if your feeding function is not strong enough and healthy enough, then it's gonna affect the level that you can take action and implement your ideas and really create value in the world and really, fully actualizing your potential as an INTJ. So TE and FI is both you need to be working on at level 3. The reason I have, if you look at level 2, there's 2 P's here on the side, right? That's the pain points, looking at your past woundings, and then looking at your patterns in terms of like how your defenses show up and becoming aware of those defenses so that you can work on them. And then if you get to level 3, this P is for purpose. So once you've worked through your woundings, pain points, and patterns, then you will start to get clear on your purpose, because your purpose is generally hidden in your woundings, in your pain points. So if you still have a lot of pains that you're protecting and holding on to, then that's where you should look at for your purpose. So I became a coach because of me working through my woundings and overcoming my own challenges, healing a lot of shame, guilt, I think childhood programmings that are dysfunctional. And through that, I love working with people and helping people break through those barriers for themselves. So because of me learning about myself and learning how to overcome my challenges, and using that knowledge, I can help people. And I'm helping people with it. So my purpose is empowerment, and empowering people with knowledge, empowering people with what I know about transformation, what I know about, the knowledge of personality types, different profiling systems and things like that, to empower them so that they can grow and become their full, whole, authentic self, to express and share their gifts, basically, to realize their potential, make contribution to the world. So level 3, so that's the purpose. And then you also need to be working on your values. So the value piece is about what you stand for, what your convictions are, what you believe, what are you against, what are you for, what do you stand for, what are you about. So getting clear on your values, which is the part of the inspiration stack, right? And then the last P, which is a red P, which is from the implementation stack, is personality. So knowing what your personality type is will give you your authenticity, your acceptance of yourself. Knowing how you show up is it has to do with the way you use different functions and tendencies of those. I think the way that those functions tend to show up in different people, and your self-acceptance is very important in your own healing, in your own self-actualization. So understand your personality type and owning who you really are so that you can be fully authentic and you can take action as you are without needing to apologize for the way that you do things and without needing to apologize for the ways that you show up. Is very important because self-knowledge, right? Awareness first, then you can start to change and transform. Without awareness, there's no change. So that's level 3. Then level 4 is about stability and systems. So now that you're starting to take action, you start to see what works, what doesn't, and you can start to systemize what works so that you can be more efficient and more effective, right? So this is where your P, another P, red P, is about productivity. This is where your productivity really starts to scale and start to, I guess, multiply, is because when you have systems helping you and also systematizing what works. So the actions that you take based on the feedback, you'll be able to systemize what works. So productivity, and then this is the vehicle, meaning using the value and vision alignment with your vehicle, meaning your vocation, right? How do you express yourself? What is your, like, how do you express your creativity? How do you add value? How do you create value? So for example, I create value as a coach. I help people. That's one of the vehicles, one of my vehicles through which I want to create my vision, through which I express my values of, sharing my knowledge, my value of teaching, my value of systemizing different information, different modalities and models of knowledge and fields of study, basically. So that's level 4. And level 5, then there's another P, which is your primary goals. So level 5 is about success and significance. So at this level, it's about creating win-win scenarios and win-win situations, building connections, building valuable, mutually beneficial connections with people, mutually supportive, mutually beneficial win-win scenarios with people, with different leaders, right? In your industry, different leaders, so that you can all win and create, I guess, abundance for yourself as well as abundance for people through the value that you create. And that's level 5, success and significance. And then level 6 is about vision. So where you start with the vision, right? This is number 1. And then you work on your values, right? So in terms of, this is not like a linear growth journey, even though it is going to be, but we're using this as a model of growth to gauge where you're at and what you need to be working on. So we're going to be jumping back and forth depending on what you need to be working on, what you need to get clear of, so, and which function you need to be using and things like that. So this is just a rough model of the way I look at this as my own growth as well as the people that I coach. So your vehicle, your values basically gives you your identity. Basically, the values and beliefs are the closest layer to your identity as a human being, as a human psyche. So values are very important to get clear on. When you're working on your identity, when you're working on knowing who you really are, expressing who you really are, and becoming more authentic as a human being, as an INTJ, as a, whatever role that you play in life, as a father, as a husband, as a brother, as a student, as a teacher, as a coach, as a mentor, anything, right? So, yeah, if you want to know more about using the transformational matrix, then go watch the video in the description below. Yeah, basically starting with the vision, starting with the contribution you want to make. I talk about starting with the vision in that video. That talks more about the transformation matrix in terms of the 9 areas that you need to be working on and get clear on and be able to say yes to in terms of the question that you need to ask and the question that you need to be able to answer. So I want to cover up. So I think just 2 more things. One is the more you go up the ladder, the more you go up the different phases or different levels, right? The more you go up the different levels, the more you will be able to gain in terms of resources, right? So as INTJs, resources are very important. The main one is energy, right? Our main resource is energy, and the way we focus on, where we pay attention to. So as INTJ, we use a lot of our resources of energy on thinking and learning, and that's good. But the energy we feel is limited, right? Which is why we are very efficiency focused, not wasting our energy and time unnecessarily. That's very important for INTJs. So this is an incentive for you to go up the ladder, go up the phases, is because to go up is because you gain more time. So basically, the more you become successful, the more money you make because of the value that you can create, because of the productivity that you have. You'll be able to have more time. So basically, if you have more money, you'll be able to buy more time, right? You'll be able to delegate a lot of the tasks that waste your time, that you have no desire doing. And you'll be able to gain energy because of your health level, right? So on level 2, you'll be working on SE. So SE, the inferior function, is something that you need to become aware of and develop healthy habits around how to engage your extroverted sensing function, basically engaging your body so that you have more energy, so that you are more healthy. Because we all live in the body, and your body is important. Your body is basically a vehicle for you to express, for you to be able to, I guess, become more productive and make your contribution, right? And then knowledge. So these are all the 4 currencies that you'll be able to have more of. The more, the higher you go up the levels, get up to level 6 and then 7, right? So I'm using only 6 levels because those are the tangible, I guess, measurable levels that, again, we can realistically work on as a model or use as a gauge or as a reference for our own growth. So time, money, energy, and knowledge are probably the most important resources for INTJs, right? Knowledge, information. We need more time to learn. We need more money to be able to buy more time, so that we want to delegate the things that are not effective for us to work on, not our strengths and things like that. So that's an incentive for you to continue to grow and have those resources and more of those resources. And I think that's the second last one. And then the last one I want to touch on is like how you need to be using the different cognitive functions. So the functions are mostly you'll be using NI, right? This is where you start with your vision. Your ability to perspective shift, your ability to use the introverted intuition function to see into the future based on your patterns and your values and what's important for you to be able to future project and create a vision for yourself, the kind of life that you want to live, the contribution you want to make. Again, I talk about that in the video or for the transformation matrix. So go watch that if you want to know more about that. And then the more your FI is developed, and the more you can become authentic, know who you really are, and be able to express yourself, you'll be able to use that to connect with people more vulnerably, more intimately, and create, I think, win-win relationships, friendships, because you know, as INTJs, doesn't matter how much you don't like to deal with people. Everything that we're doing is to add value to people, right? The systems that you want to create is to add value to people. So it's a, I guess, beneficial investment for you to be able to invest in people and cultivate those relationships and be able to connect with people like genuinely, authentically, intimately is very important for, I think, your development as an INTJ and the realization of your full potential as an INTJ. So stability system level 4, you'll be using NI with your ability to future project, create systems, NTE, which is again the ability to create, tangible, realistic metrics to keep track of your goals, and keep track of what works, what doesn't, so that you can continue to improve the system, and keep the stability of the system so that you can stabilize. And then success significance, again, using NI, NTE, and FI, because it's about creating connection, and everything is based on you becoming aware of your SE, because that is the, I say, some people call it the enemy function, because it's the, I guess, unawareness of that and how it manifests would generally, I think, mess you up in terms of like stunt your growth and your momentum and your speed of progress, basically. So which is why waking up to your body, whether it be doing yoga, doing weight training. So for myself, I love weight training and cardio at the gym. I want to start doing yoga to engage the SE and to wake up my body, to continue to work on my body, and my ability to be flexible, my ability to generate more energy, my ability to be healthy, my ability to have more strength and stamina, so that I can continue to invest in learning more and sharing more, creating more value. So I hope this has been useful. The main thing is to use this model as a reference, right? And connect with me. Feel free to give feedback in the comments. And connect with me in the Facebook group. So there should be a link in the Facebook group. In the description, there should be a link for you to access another video, the transformational metrics, in the description as well. And join the Facebook group, and I'll be active there, and I'll have a lot more like videos. So the reason for the Facebook group is I want to create a group where INTJs can be vulnerable, connect with each other, support each other, learn from each other, learn about each other. A safe place for INTJs who are growth and development oriented, who wants to become healthy, more mature. And if we can work together, there's a lot that we can create. There's a lot of I think the contribution that we can make, it's limitless. So I'll make sure that the Facebook group is free of trolls and people who are just there to continue to perpetuate the INTJ stereotype of being the know-it-all with a lot of ego and things like that. Is not accepted in the group. So I hope that this is valuable for you, and if you want to grow, if you want to develop, if you want to connect with other INTJs, learn about each other, learn about what being an INTJ is, and learn about your functions, learn about your cognitive function, learn about anything to do with MBTI and being an INTJ and personal development, please join the group, and we're happy to have you there. And I'll see you in the next video. I'll stop here. Okay.